Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Head Cannon here, also known as Derek. Um, Doing my review of my very first Mythic Legion figure. I've heard about Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions for a while. Um, Seen them mainly package. I haven't seen a lot of them out of package before. But the other day, thanks to Abby over at Figure Fight Club, I was on his. I was watching his Friday night um, live stream, and did a giveaway, and I won. And yeah, which I'm glad I did because I probably would have never bought any Mythics Legion figures on my own. And I'll talk about some reasons why towards the end of this. So I decided, so when I get it, one, I would do a shout out thanking Avi and Figure Fight Club for the opportunity, and also do a review of my very first Mythic Legion figure. So if you're familiar with these figures, you know all the pros and cons of them. This is my first time ever dealing with one. So the one that I won was this one, it's the Duban figure from the when I was I did a deep dive once I knew I was getting this figure. I kind of did a quick look on our website and went into the lore. So I have to say that the Four Horsemen, that the Mythic Legions, they have an amazing lore for their figures, and that's something I'm very passionate about. Is action figures having a good story to go on to tell the story, to motivate you to buy into their world and to go deeper into the characters. So I guess it's he belongs to a faction. It's called the Zeloniath flock, which is more of a woodland, your woodland creatures, elves, elves and horned creatures, stuff like that, is part of the mythos. And he's a human ranger, which rangers nothing, for Lord of the Rings, the Aragorn fans out there. And plus, back when I did a lot of D&D, a lot of times I would go to the Ranger class because it's such a cool class to play. So I kind of like that. And I guess his lore is he's one of the few humans that are associated with this faction in the Mythic Legion storyline. And he's the guy who's sneaking all around the forest and keeping tabs on things for you. So first of all, excellent packaging for these figures. I liked how you could just very easily slide the card back off the blister instead of having to cut it or tear it or pull it off. So if you are an inbox collector, you could still take the figure out and look at it and then put it back into the packaging fairly easy. And then also the internal packaging was very good. All the accessories were there packaged up nicely. The cloth good cape was excellent. It wasn't all bunched up and bendy. It was very nicely placed in there. I like that the tie-ins were ones that you could actually untie with your hands, so I didn't have to use my little nips to get in there. So overall, the packaging was really good for this figure. And then also some of the accessories. It didn't come with a whole lot. This is what I showed is the hands, the multiple hands came with. So that has to be a must nowadays for figures, or the multiple hands. Because of the sword with the sheath, the little elven dagger, and then the little the crossbow, which is good. And of course, there's the cloth cape as an accessory, and he had the pauldrons for his metal, the shoulder pieces were detached with that. So did it all good, no broken, strong plastic, so you didn't get a bendy plastic like you would with like a Hasbro figure or something like that. So they're excellent shape, excellent condition, all fit well, looked real nice together with that. So just a few shots of the figure. I originally was going to do this as an unboxing video. Unfortunately, the only other camera I have is my phone, and I was trying to get it set up, and it just I was having all kinds of problems with it. So I decided instead to go with just taking some photos of it and doing a presentation instead of just with the video. So I got it set up and took a picture of this, the back and the front of the figure. The lighting, I needed to get some light better, but I tried to light this thing so that you could see the face and the cloak. So I had a very difficult time without having to do like a bright flash and it's really like an ugly picture. But I liked that how the hood actually put the face in deep shadow. That's kind of like what you wanted out of a Ranger figure. It reminds me of that your first appearance of Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings, how he's got the cloak up and the entire top of his face is covered in deep shadow, and you see that out the other. So that was a nice touch. That made photography get kind of hard for it. But later on, it actually worked in his favor. So with that, then I was able to get the the two armor pieces onto his shoulder, and then that cloth goods cape. I mean, it's a very soft cape with wire in it, and the wire is it doesn't. Most of my experience has been passed with cloth goods, and especially those with wires, is that once you bend the wire, you can't get the wire back to where it used to be. So you try to do a straight line hem, you try to straighten it out, and it would still be all crinkly and raggedy in there. But this one, it seems whatever wire they're using, it seems to go back to its original shape as close as I can tell, fairly decent. And then you can do the thing like I did this one where it had the cloak halfway over covering the body with it just flip back on one side with the so you could have the crossbow sticking out and then flip open all the way so you could access his weapons. So I spent a good half an hour just playing around with this cloak. Because it's good. I like that the neck popped off, the head popped off, and had a very substantial neck and peg, so I didn't feel like I was going to break the neck peg trying to get the thing off. Here was some of the that hawk. I love that accessory like that. Was really neat. So you just pop one hand off, and you slip that hawk over on that gauntlet. It would have been kind of nice if I could have removed the hawk from the gauntlet. So you could do other photos with just the hawk and suspended from the air or in other places. But then it's one of the things that if you make it removable, then it never really fits on the gauntlet and stays on the gauntlet. So you kind of had to make a compromise there. And so I kind of like that. And then the cloak covers, even with all his sword, his dagger, and all that stuff. You have to flip the cloak forward on it, and it really covers all that up. It doesn't look too bad with that. And then last year, I have I just took a picture of him next to my with the Dungeons and Dragons, one of the owl bears for a creature. But just kind of show you here, this is the figure. It looks really cool. Poses really well, except for a couple of drawbacks. Is the armor here on the shoulders. There's two holes in the back of the figure where the armor pieces peg into. And that was extremely hard to get that peg on the back of the armor into those holes. It was a very tight fit where I felt like I was almost going to break or bend those pegs to where it wouldn't work. But I finally got them in. I don't think I even have them snapped in completely, but it's still tight enough that I don't feel like those are going to go pop apart when I manipulate the shoulders. But that armor looks really good when it's on the figure. The only drawback is it does limit the movement of the shoulders going in and out like that. So when you lift the arm up for the hawk, I just have him kind of like at a side, kind of like in front of him at a side instead of all the way like I'd stick it out like the arm out like that for it to climb on. So again, all in all, it's a great figure. I know that there's some production issues that people have had in the past with these figures. I don't know about the whole history of that, but this one seems to be a very good, a solid figure. I did, as a precaution, when I first got him out, he was a little bit stiff. I can't remember where it shipped from, but here in North Florida, we've been having a cold snap, so it's been kind of in the low 50s to upper to the high 50s to the low 40s. So just kind of give it a little bit of help. I did put it in a warm water bath. I prefer warm water baths for the figures instead of using a hair dryer or heat gun. And that just after that, the joints were very smooth to manipulate to bend, so it poses very well. Now, what I was afraid of, and I'll do this, what I was afraid of is that when I got this thing and I saw how good it is, that when I wanted, I said, I hope this is going to be my first Mythic Legion series. I hope it doesn't awaken something in me. And then when I went and looked at the website lore and just how thought out and how deep it is, and then how amazing some of those others look, I was like, I said I didn't want to fall into that Mythic Legion's rabbit hole. So I was like hoping to, so what's going to keep me from doing this? Because Lord knows I do not need another line because I don't have the room for it. And so that Duban figure retails from around $50, I think, which is very high, on the high end for me for a single figure, especially one that's not got a lot of like that. That's kind of like a starter figure. It doesn't have a whole lot of accessories in it compared to some of the other ones I've seen. So when I was looking at the prices of the other figures, I was like, okay, that's going to cure me. They kind of they kind of put the brakes on me going overboard on Mythic Legions with that. So if somebody gives me another Mythic Legions where I find like one at a good price, it's used. But even on the secondary market, I was looking at the secondary market because I said, well, what if I get one more? So so I was looking at the one that's whatever the faction with there's like Templar looking nice, looks amazing. The horses look amazing. So I was like, well, let me find. So they had like an Elf Ranger, which they build as a starter or a troop builder pack. So I'm like, okay, well that was cool because it's a single figure. It would fit with this one. It's in the same faction. They look really nice. And so I would see one, and there's like, I guess that was like of an earlier series, so they're sold out. So I was looking at it, so they were going for up to like $100 on the secondary market over on Mercari, eBay, what have you. So okay, well, that kind of just pushed the brakes on that experience with that. So unless I find like a really good deal on a Mythic Legions figure, or somebody gives me one or I win another one, then chances are I'm not going to be a Mythic Legions collector, and that's okay. I know that some people there's I get it. There's a rabid fan base. There's people that spend a lot of money, and I've seen the dragon, and the dragon does look cool. But and you can make fun of me all one. Like I said, this is not a line for the pores. It's a lot of people that there's a group of people out there that like to spend a lot of money on an action figure just so they can feel they've bought something very expensive that other people can't. Well, the very few elite people will be able to obtain. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with walking away from it. So I'm going to find a spot on my shelf with that. Probably keep with that. I've got both the owlbears from that Dungeon Dragon, so I kind of like that look to it. So Duban will probably be my only Mythic Legions figure. It is an excellent figure, except for that one problem I had getting the pauldrons on with that. But it's great, and I'm kind of on board with soft goods again for figures if it's done right. I think this is one where something like a cape or a trench coat for a figure done in soft goods can really add something to it. Whereas I prefer kind of all the clothing to be molded and the accessories to be molded accessories. But that gray cape on that thing looks really nice with that. So again, that's my review of the Duban Mythic Legions figure. Once again, Figure Fight Club, thank you very much, Avi. Thank you very much for holding that contest, and I was happy to win it. I'm definitely not disappointed in that figure, but I want to find a nice place for it around here in my collection, and he'll probably be the Lone Ranger for my collection. So with that, that's if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Check me out again. Like and subscribe. I'm getting ready to I'm preparing for my first live stream on January the 20th at about 9 p.m. I'm going to go live, and I know that there may be somebody also doing live stream at that time. It's just a crowded arena for live streams now, especially in the toy circles. So at some point you're stepping on somebody else's toes. But I don't think I'm a smart channel, so I'm not stealing a lot of audience from anybody. I'll have Is Chad from Chad from Is Chad is my guest, very first guest as of now. So please check it out. And when I do my show, I'll probably do about once a month, not every week. That's about all I can handle. But with that, thank you all, and I will catch you later.